St. Robert Green Secondary School wasn't the kind of school you stumbled into. It wasn't on the road where public buses passed. It sat quietly in a gated corner of Victoria Island, hidden behind black walls, with a security post that looked like it belonged to a government ministry. It wasn't just a school, it was an investment, one only the rich and powerful could afford. The buildings were painted cream and gold, the windows were tinted, and the school gate had a logo that looked like it was designed by foreign hands. Even the flowers in the compound were not the regular ones. You could tell they were arranged by someone who had studied landscaping abroad. Inside those walls, children didn't carry notebooks the way others did. They carried iPads, AirPods, some even had personal cooks on standby. School approved, of course. St. Robert's Secondary School is a home away from home. You belonged there, and if you didn't, you could feel it. Among the students, there were 3 girls nobody dared cross. They didn't introduce themselves. You just knew who they were. Sandra, Vivian and Loretta. Sandra's father was a senator from the East. Powerful, visible. Vivian and Loretta, their fathers were in the House of Representatives. Different parties but same influence. Together their children ran the school. They didn't shout or fight to be noticed. They simply walked, and people shifted. Even the teachers understood the invisible line: you correct them with caution, or not at all. Everyone called them the 3 Queens. It wasn't a title they asked for. It was given to them by the other students, quietly, because in every corner of St. Robert, they had a presence. Their names were on the salon list before anyone else. They got the first pick when the dining hall served imported meals. They didn't queue for anything, not food, not hostel water, not even library access. But what made them truly feared is what happens every Friday. While the school prepares for weekend prep, they always prepare for how to disappear from the school premises. No one ever saw how. Nobody ever caught them climbing the gate or sneaking through the fence. They always just vanished. And by Sunday night, they will return. More beautiful, more expensive, and somehow more untouchable than before. It became a routine, and each time they came back, it was like they carried Lagos nightlife in their bags. Smoothies with whipped cream, flavored popcorn in branded bags, perfumes you couldn't find in the mall. In the dormitory, they don't stay just anywhere. They had a corner nobody else touched. Their beds had the softest mattresses in school. Their bedsheets came from Dubai, gold and white, with matching silk pillowcases. Their lockers smelled like expensive body mist. Their fans don't make noise like the ones blowing hot air in other corners. The matron even told other girls not to sit on their beds, not even by mistake. And when it was time for salon day, they don't stay in the queue. Their hair appointments were booked ahead of others. They don't just do regular cornrows. No sleek Ghana weaving, 12 inches straight back, with extra shine and no flyaways. Some said their stylists were brought in from outside. Nobody confirmed, but everybody believed. Other girls watched quietly. Some admired, some envied. Most just stayed out of their way. But for Amanda and Niki, their life was different. They weren't trying to compete. They didn't have the luxury of comparison. They were there to study, to survive, to use the chance cowbell scholarship had given them and rise above their background. Still, every weekend, Amanda would sit on her metal bunk bed and glance at the 3 Queens corner. She'd see the shimmer of their throw pillows. She'd smell the hair cream they used. And she'd wonder, what does it feel like to live like that? She never said it out loud. But sometimes, silence says everything. And then, one night, that silence was broken. Amanda didn't come from much. She grew up in a 1-room apartment in Oshodi with her mother and 2 younger brothers. Her mother sold second-hand clothes at the roadside, sometimes with an umbrella, sometimes in the rain. The only thing Amanda had in excess was hunger and ambition. Niki, same struggle. Her father was a welder, the kind who never said more than 3 words at a time. Her mother sold akara in the mornings and puff-puff in the evenings, just to make ends meet. Nikechi and Amanda didn't have the luxury of wearing Apple Watch. They wore rubber wristbands from church crusades. Their school shoes had seen better days, and their socks were more thread than cloth. But they were brilliant, two of the sharpest brains in their set. That's how they made it to St. Robert Green. Out of over 5,000 applicants for the Cowbell Chocolate Scholarship, only 20 students were picked nationwide. Amanda and Nikechi were the only two from the Lagos mainland. Their school fees, uniforms, books, and hostel dues were covered for 6 years. It was a golden ticket, and they knew it. From day one, they kept their heads down. They didn't try to make friends. They didn't sit near the loud girls. They stayed in the background as observers. Every night after prep, Amanda would lie on her bed and read motivational quotes written on scraps of papers. She didn't care about sleep. She believed her way out of poverty was through her WAC result. But she saw how the three queens always walked out of the hostel without signing the movement book. She saw how they returned glowing, with no punishments. She saw the way people cleared the way for them in the dining hall, even prefects. She watched how they ordered shawarma to the school gate and bribed the security man with 5K to sneak it in. She noticed how their lotion was always foreign. Their shoes are always white. Their braids are always fresh. She never said anything to Nikechi, but every weekend, her eyes wandered. Nikechi, on the other hand, noticed Amanda's curiosity, but never addressed it. She was used to Amanda zoning out when the three queens walked past. She just reminded her, "We didn't come here for all that. We came to study and make good grades." Amanda would nod, but the nod became weaker over time. Because the longer they stayed in that school, the more Amanda realized that intelligence wasn't what ruled St. Robert. It was power, status, and connections. And that's what the three queens had in abundance. The girls from humble beginnings kept reading. The girls from rich homes kept partying. Until one night, while Amanda sat in the empty class revising for her chemistry test, someone interrupted her with a soft voice, and everything changed. It was one of those quiet Wednesday nights. Prep had ended. Most students had gone back to the hostel. The class block was almost empty, except for one light coming from the back window. Amanda's corner, she sat alone, bent over her chemistry notes, copying past questions with one hand and rubbing her neck with the other. The fan wasn't working well, and sweat had started to collect around her edges. But she stayed, because she had a test coming, because she had no excuse to fail, because home was watching her. She didn't hear the footsteps. She just smelled the perfume first. Something fruity, something foreign, not from the school tuck shop. Amanda looked up. Sandra was standing beside her desk, arms folded, head tilted, smiling like someone who knew she was interrupting but didn't care. Amanda blinked, confused. She had never had a conversation with Sandra before. They weren't in the same social circle. Sandra didn't waste time. "I've been watching you," she said, casually. "You like to read a lot. That's good, but you need exposure." Then Sandra leaned in. "I have a rare offer for you. You'll thank me later." Amanda frowned slightly. "Offer?" Sandra smiled again. "Yes," she replied. "The queens want you to join them every Friday." "Me?" "Yes, you. Look, this is not the kind of thing we offer to just anybody. People beg to go with us. Some girls even cried when we turned them down." Amanda raised her brows slightly. "But why me?" Sandra shrugged. "Because we feel like giving you the opportunity. And because you're smart. You'll benefit." Amanda paused. Her heart was beating fast, but her face didn't show it. She thought about Nikesh. She thought about her mother. She thought about all the times she said no to things like this. But then she remembered the Queen's Corner in the hostel, the hair, the snacks, the laughter, the way people respected them, and the way nobody noticed girls like her, unless it was exam time. So she did something she never imagined. She accepted. Sandra smiled. "Good. Be ready by Friday evening. We'll take care of everything." Then she turned and walked out of the class, her heels clicking against the tiles, echoing into the night like a warning. Amanda didn't understand. Amanda sat there for a long time after she left. She didn't continue her reading. She didn't go back to the hostel immediately. She just stared at her notebook, the words on the page suddenly blurry. She didn't know what she had said yes to, but in her mind it sounded like an opportunity. Friday night came faster than Amanda expected. She spent the whole day in class, but nothing the teacher said entered her head. Formulas flew past her ears. Literature notes looked like they were in Greek. Her mind was elsewhere. By evening she packed her books without finishing her assignments. She didn't tell Niki where she was going. She didn't even look her in the eye. At 9 p.m. when the hostel lights were switched off and the other girls settled into their mosquito nets, Amanda got up quietly and tiptoed to the back bathroom. There, on the third hook behind the mop bucket, was the black nylon Sandra had left for her. Inside was a short black gown, something tight, something Amanda wouldn't wear on a normal day. Also inside, foundation, lip gloss, edge control, and a small perfume that smelled like fruit and money. She changed in silence. Her heart was beating fast, but her hands didn't shake. By the time she stepped out into the hostel corridor, she was no longer Amanda the cowbell scholarship girl. She was someone else. Outside, Vivian and Loretta were waiting with Sandra. They didn't speak much. Sandra just looked at her and nodded. "You'll do." And just like that, the four of them made their way toward the back fence. There was a small loose portion near the old generator house. Nobody would have guessed it, but it was the Queen's escape route. By the time Amanda realized they were already outside the school compound, she wasn't scared anymore, just excited. A black car was waiting at the corner of the street, tinted windows, loud music inside. They hopped in like they had done it 100 times. Amanda sat by the window watching the school disappear behind her. Victoria Island at night looked different, bright, loud, alive. They arrived at a club Amanda had only seen in Instagram reels. Blue neon lights, bouncers wearing earpieces, girls with long nails and bold wigs. Sandra spoke to the bouncer like they were siblings. He nodded and stepped aside. No ID, no questions. Inside was another world. Music boomed from every wall. The air was thick with perfume, cologne, and money. Waiters in all black passed with trays of colored drinks. People took pictures under ring lights. Everyone was loud, but somehow Amanda felt invisible, until a guy walked up to her with a white shirt, sleek jeans and well-trimmed hair. "Hi, I'm Kelvin," he said, stretching out his hand. She shook it lightly. "Amanda," she replied. They talked for about 10 minutes. Then he offered her a drink. She hesitated, but Sandra gave her a slight nod from across the room, so she sipped. Just one glass. Then he asked if she wanted to see where he lived. Amanda blinked. "Now?" Kelvin smiled. "Don't worry, I'll drop you back before dawn. Promise." Sandra walked over. "He's safe," she said, like someone who had done the background check. "You're with us now. You're fine." Amanda didn't know what pushed her to say yes. His car was different. Not fancy on the outside, but the inside smelled like leather and sounded like wealth. He played soft music and asked about her dreams. She told him she wanted to become a doctor. He said he liked smart girls. By the time they arrived at the house, Amanda was already comfortable. The house was in Lekki, a big compound, with bright lights, 2 cars parked in front. She stepped in, slowly, marble floors, framed pictures on the wall, a fish tank in the corner. She asked if it was his house. Kelvin smiled and said, "Does it look like it's not?" Amanda didn't ask again. They talked more. He gave her juice and chips. They sat on the couch and laughed about random things. He asked her if she had a boyfriend. She said no. He said, "Good." They sat in silence for a while. Then he leaned closer, and that was how Amanda had her first experience. By Sunday evening, Amanda was back at St. Robert Green, but something was different. Very different. She didn't walk like someone sneaking back from a forbidden outing. She walked like someone who belonged, like a girl who had just stepped off a private jet. Her braids were fresh, tight, neat, the kind of hair that made other girls touch their own and suddenly feel untidy. She carried a nylon bag filled with snacks, real ones, imported chips, chocolate bars, and bottled smoothies with labels in French. Her lips glowed from the lip gloss she now applied before morning assembly. Her walk had a bounce to it. Even her perfume announced her before she entered a room. By Monday morning, everyone noticed. Girls whispered, some smiled, some rolled their eyes. The three queens gave her a nod in the dining hall. Not a warm one, but a respectful one. She had joined them now, not as their equal, but as someone on tria, and she was passing. But Niki noticed more than her glow. She noticed the silence. Amanda no longer waited for her before class. She no longer shared a cabin biscuit before lights out. She didn't ask to revise notes together anymore. And when she did speak, her tone had changed. She spoke like someone who had seen too much to care. By Wednesday, Niki couldn't take it anymore. She waited until prep was over. As Amanda was walking out of the classroom, Niki followed her quietly. Amanda, she said, gently. Amanda turned. Her eyes were sharp, guarded. Niki hesitated, then said, I don't know where you went last weekend. I don't even want to know. But you're not yourself anymore. Amanda didn't blink. She just stared at her. This is not you, Niki continued. You don't even talk to me anymore. I thought we were in this together. Amanda looked away, then back. You don't understand, Niki, she said softly. I've tasted a better life. Niki stepped back, her face blank. Amanda folded her arms. You think I want to stay struggling forever? Read, read, read. For what? So I can graduate and be jobless. So I can end up like my mother selling old clothes in the sun. Niki opened her mouth, but words refused to come out. Amanda shook her head. You still believe this school will save you? I've seen that there's another way. By going out with them. Niki asked. Sandra, Vivian, Loretta. You think they care about you? Amanda smiled, but it wasn't the same smile from before. It had pride in it, and pity. You've not seen the world, she said. You're still dreaming small. That's your problem. Then she walked away. Just like that, Niki stood there for a long time. Not because she didn't have anything else to say, but because the friend she used to know was gone. Amanda wasn't coming back. At least, not as the girl she once was. It started slowly. At first, Amanda would complain about a headache. Nothing serious, just a little pressure on her forehead, especially during assembly. She would squeeze her eyes and say, maybe I didn't sleep well. Then, the next week, she skipped breakfast. She said the smell of the school stew was making her stomach turn. Everyone laughed. They thought she was just becoming picky because of the snacks she'd been bringing in. But by Thursday, people stopped laughing. She fainted during the biology practical. 1 minute, she was trying to label parts of the respiratory system. Next thing, her hands were shaking. Her eyes rolled. She dropped the biro and slumped onto the desk. It wasn't dramatic. The class rep called the matron. They poured water on her head. She sat up slowly, eyes half open. The nurse said it was probably stress. Amanda said it was malaria. But next she knew it was something else. By the time Amanda started vomiting in the mornings, the whispers began. Some said it was food poisoning. Some said she was reacting to all those foreign drinks she kept bringing. But next she knew what she was seeing. She'd seen it before in their compound, on girls who used to sneak out and return with swollen faces. She didn't want to believe it. Not Amanda. Not her friend who used to plan her future by the hour. Not the same Amanda who once cried because she forgot to submit a physics assignment. One night, after lights out, next she couldn't hold it anymore. She waited until the room was quiet, then whispered across their bunks. Amanda, are you okay? Amanda didn't answer immediately, But next she could hear her breathing. It was uneven, like someone who wanted to cry but was holding it in. Next she sat up. She climbed down from her bed and sat at the edge of Amanda's. Amanda, please talk to me. You've changed. You don't even smile anymore. Still no answer. Then, softly, Amanda spoke. It was just once. Niki turned. What? Amanda sat up, slowly. Her eyes were swollen. Her face looked tired. It was just once, with Kelvin, she repeated. Niki stared at her. Amanda looked down at her hands. I didn't plan it. I didn't even think it would lead to anything. We just talked. He said nice things. He gave me juice. He said the house was his. I don't know what's happening, Amanda whispered. My stomach, my body, I feel like something is growing inside. Niki was quiet. Then she asked the question, even though she already knew the answer. Have you missed your period? Amanda nodded. Twice. Niki didn't speak again. She just pulled Amanda close and held her. No judgment, no sermon, because in that moment, Amanda didn't need correction. She needed someone who would stay. Word travels fast in St. Robert Green. It was Sandra who noticed first. The way Amanda walked, slower, heavier. The way her skin changed. The sudden quietness. The way she stopped applying lip gloss. She cornered Amanda by the water tank. After lunch one day. No pleasantries. No smiles. You're pregnant, right? Amanda didn't answer. Sandra sighed. You should have used protection before doing it. Anyway, I'll help you just this once. That evening, she gave Amanda a small Ziploc bag. Inside were 2 white pills and a folded note. Follow the instructions. Do it tonight. You'll be fine. Amanda held the bag with shaking hands. Vivian and Loretta didn't say anything. They just stood behind Sandra with folded arms. Expressionless. No sympathy. No concern. Just irritation. As if Amanda had become an inconvenience. A stain on their reputation. That night, in the bathroom stall, Amanda swallowed the pills. But the next morning, nothing happened. No bleeding, no cramps, nothing. Just silence. By Friday, the 3 queens had cut her off. They stopped replying to her greetings. They left the dining hall when she entered. At the salon, they told the stylist to remove her name from the schedule. Her mattress corner, once lively with chatter and perfume, became the loneliest space in the hostel. She tried to explain, tried to say it wasn't her fault, but nobody was listening. Sandra stopped making eye contact. Vivian rolled her eyes when Amanda passed. Loretta laughed once and said, "Don't let scholarship people disgrace us." Amanda tried to talk to them after prep. She waited outside the class block, but as soon as they saw her, they turned around and went through another path. That night, Amanda couldn't sleep. She picked up her small Nokia phone, the one Niki helped her charge every week. She scrolled through her contacts and dialed Kelvin. It rang once, twice. No answer. She called again. Nothing. She sent a message. "Please, I need to talk to you. It's urgent. Read." But no reply. She waited 5 minutes. 10, 30. Still nothing. She called again. This time it rang once and ended. Blocked. Amanda stared at the phone screen for a long time, not moving, not blinking. Then she dropped the phone gently on the bed, like someone placing a body at a funeral. Everything she thought she had gained, every hairdo, every snack, every moment in that club just flashed before her face. They were all gone. And now she was carrying the only thing Kelvin left behind. Alone. No queens. No Kelvin. No way back. Saturday morning, her school sandals slapped against the dusty pavement as she walked down the street where Kelvin's house was supposed to be. She had memorized the route. He had described it to her like a fairy tale the first night. Now she followed it like a map of disappointment. When she finally got to the street, the house looked the same. Big black gate, cream-colored fence, 2 flower pots by the entrance. Same house. She stood at the gate for a few seconds. Her legs didn't want to move. Her hands didn't want to knock. But her stomach reminded her of why she came. She knocked twice. Softly at first, then louder. The gate opened slowly. Not by Kelvin, but by a woman. She was in her mid-30s. Well-dressed, simple makeup, confident eyes. The woman looked at Amanda with curiosity. Yes, how may I help you, young lady? Amanda took a small breath. I'm looking for Kelvin. The woman didn't blink. Kelvin? Yes, Amanda said. He stays here. I'm his girlfriend. The woman paused. Then she smiled. Not a warm smile, not a rude one, just the kind of smile people give when they already know where the story is going. She looked Amanda up and down and said, one of them or the only one? Amanda's mouth opened, but no words came out. The woman raised her hand. Don't stress yourself. Kelvin doesn't own this house. He's our driver, that's all. My husband owns this house. Kelvin drives him to and from the airport. He sleeps in the boys' quarters. Amanda's hands trembled. Her knees weakened. I'm sorry, my dear, the woman added. But whatever he promised you, it was fake. Amanda stood there, frozen. Everything she believed, every memory, every smile, every compliment, now felt like a stage play. And she was the only one who didn't know it was scripted. She opened her mouth. I'm pregnant for Kelvin. The woman's eyes widened, then softened. She stepped out fully, now, and looked at Amanda, properly. The woman touched her shoulder. You're not the first. Many other girls have come here, all claiming to be pregnant for Kelvin. Amanda couldn't speak. She couldn't breathe properly. She turned and walked away, one hand under her stomach, the other wiping her eyes. This time, the street didn't look expensive. The flowers looked fake. The gate looked like a trap. She came back to school. Sunday evening, she went straight to her corner in the hostel, her once vibrant bed space, now stripped of color. She folded her uniform slowly. She lay on her bed with her face to the wall, and when the hostel light went off that night, nobody heard her cry. But they heard her breathing, deep, uneven, like someone trying not to shatter. By Monday morning, Amanda had stopped attending classes. She stayed in bed all day, didn't go for breakfast, didn't show up for roll call. When the matron knocked, Amanda said she was tired. When the school nurse came, Amanda didn't open the door. By Wednesday, the principal called her guardian. The woman who came was not Amanda's mother. It was her auntie from Ikeja, Lagos. The one who used to say, don't let this opportunity pass you by. She came with red eyes and a calm voice. The meeting was short, private, no announcement, no public drama. That same evening, Amanda was asked to pack her things. One Ghana must-go bag, one small nylon, and a handbag. No send forth, no farewell hugs, not even a second glance from most of the girls. Just one person stood still, Niki. From across the hostel hall, she watched Amanda zip her bag. Then she turned and walked out of the hostel, through the gates, into the waiting car, and out of St. Robert Green forever. Long after Amanda left St. Robert Green, her name still echoed in conversations, sometimes as a caution, sometimes as gossip. But for Niki, it was personal. Every time she walked past Amanda's old bed, she remembered the laughter they used to share, the quiet study nights, the dreams they whispered before sleep, the two girls who once believed that hard work could change their lives. Now one was gone, not dead, but displaced by a single decision. Amanda didn't set out to fail. She didn't wake up and choose shame. She just wanted more than poverty, more than hunger, more than being the scholarship girl everyone pitied. She wanted to taste the life she saw in others. She reached out to touch it, but it consumed her. And when the glitz faded, when the girls turned their backs, and when Kelvin vanished into the shadows, all that was left was the truth. Not every opportunity is a blessing. Some are distractions, dressed in fake wealth. Some are traps, smiling with white teeth and smooth beards. Some are doors that only open to darkness. Amanda's fall wasn't just about pregnancy. It was about pressure and unguarded desperation. Please, like this video if the story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe for more true African stories that teach, touch, and transform. I quote. I'll see you in the next story. Thank you for watching.